New earthquake warnings coming out for the Pacific Ring of Fire and specifically the west coast of the United States. And we've had some major earthquakes hitting in the last 24, 48 hours. The Philippines being rocked over and over and over. We're seeing earthquakes in Russia, also in the Kamchatka Peninsula, down south by the Drake Pass. We're talking about 6.0, 7.0, almost 8.0 earthquakes hitting over and over. Let's take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself here. Coming out yesterday, the West Coast's most dangerous faults could rupture together, affecting the entire region. These are the warnings we've been hearing from scientists lately, saying that it's not just the San Andreas Fault, but it's the San Andreas Fault also with other faults that could rupture one after the other in a symphony of earthquakes that could equate to a major earthquake, a Mega-Quake. They're saying, unlike the which that they had thought of before, they said this could be absolutely devastating. Now, in addition to that, we're also hearing just a couple of hours ago today, another 6.2 magnitude earthquake jolts the Philippines. There's video footage, photos coming out of the devastation as the Philippines are just being rocked with one earthquake after the other. In addition to that, coming out today as well, magnitude 5.8 earthquake has hit Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, as I mentioned. Earthquake, a magnitude 5.7, strikes Ethiopia today as well. And I mentioned to you yesterday, as soon as it had come out, a massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck the Drake Passage. There was actually tsunami warnings issued. They were later waved off, but we're going to be taking a look at all of the video footage and the articles coming out as to what's going on right now around the world with earthquakes. The Philippines just being hit with one earthquake after the other. And again, let me know your thoughts. It just seems like there are a lot of major earthquakes happening. Is this coming from the sun? Are these natural causes? We heard back in March of 2025 scientists saying this. Is this a warning from God? Is this nuclear tests that are going bad? Underground tests we had heard in the Kamchatka Peninsula by Russia? Or is this man-made, weather manipulated? If you think this is natural, put a 1. If you think this is God, put a 2. If you think this is some sort of underground nuclear tests, put a 3. If you think this is weather control, put a 4. I've been asking this question regularly as these are coming up because it just seems like every other day now we are seeing massive earthquakes. It's not normal to see 8.8 earthquakes like we saw over in Russia, and then a 7.8 in Drake's Passage. These are some massive earthquakes. Now, every day, all the time, there are smaller earthquakes, many of which aren't even felt. 2, 3, 4 size magnitude earthquakes, but lately they have been massive, and that is why we've been seeing the warnings coming out about potential Mega-Quakes that could hit. They're saying a symphony of fault lines erupting one after the other, causing some massive devastation. These are the warnings that are coming out. So, like I said, though, I'm going to be diving into the articles, sharing with you the latest, putting it on the screen, reading right from it so you can see the dates, the sources, and also hyperlinked, as I mentioned in the description. Every video, I cite my sources so you can see that this is the latest, and know and rest assured that this is exactly what is coming out. Now, do me a favor before we dive in. If you appreciate the transparency of the updates, getting the latest news, take a quick second, hit that thumbs up like button for me. When you click that button, really helps out the channel a ton while we're live. I really appreciate it. And to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not hit that subscribe button? I'll give you all the breaking news as it comes out. As yesterday evening, I shared with you that Mega-Quake that had hit 7.8 that caused tsunami warnings. And now today, in the past couple of hours, we're hearing another major earthquake hitting in the Philippines. This one a 6.2 that is causing a lot of devastation. So subscribe, hit the like button, check out all of the articles in the description below. But let's go ahead and get right to it so that way you can see the latest going on. Now, let's start off with this 6.0 earthquake that hit the southern Philippines coast after a deadly quake series that killed 83 people. And again, we've heard over 60 earthquakes in roughly the last 24, 48 hours. 20 of them, they're saying, were some pretty significant shaking. There's a lot of video footage out there of all of the devastation taking place right now in the Philippines. And you can see the photo right here of one of these buildings that has collapsed. Now, a magnitude 6.0 earthquake hit just off the coast of the southern Philippines near Cagway town in Surigao del Sur province. The tremor follows a series of devastating earthquakes in the Philippines, including a 6.7 and a 7.4 magnitude quake that killed at least 8 people in the Mindanao a day earlier. The The Philippines experienced earthquakes due to its location on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intense seismic activity. And again, we are seeing that this is just trembling right now. It just seems on a regular basis. A magnitude 6.0 earthquake jolted just off the coast of the southern Philippines late on Saturday, the United States Geological Survey said. So again, this coming out today, we're hearing just in the past couple of hours. The USGS reported the tremor to occur at a depth of 59 kilometers and about 10 kilometers from Caguate town in the province of Surigao del Sur. There were no immediate reports of casualties from this quake, Caguate Fire Officer Arnel Basinga told AFP. The duration of the quake was not that long, just around 30 seconds, but it was so sudden and so strong. Our pots here in the fire station fell in our kitchen, he said. Now, rescue and fire authorities were conducting a joint assessment of the damage. Basinga said, "We cannot say the extent of the damage at this point, if there are any, because it's already night and it's dark here. It was not yet clear if the 6.0 magnitude quake in Surigao del Sur was an aftershock of the 6.7 or the 7.4 magnitude tremors that struck off Manay town in Mindanao region just a day ago, which killed at least 8 people. The series of quakes came just days after a magnitude 6.9 earthquake killed 75 people and injured more than 1,200 in Cebu province in the central Philippines, according to the government data. Earthquakes are a nearly daily occurrence in the Philippines, which is situated on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intense seismic activity stretching from Japan through Southeast Asia across the Pacific Basin. Now, an 8.0 magnitude quake off of Mindanao Island's southwest coast in 1976 unleashed a tsunami that left 8,000 people dead or missing, the Philippines' deadliest natural disaster. And we're hearing that that is unfolding right now, where we're having some serious earthquakes, but luckily no tsunamis at this time. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this one, giving us a little more information as well. Another 6.2 magnitude earthquake jolts the Philippines. Earlier, 2 deadly quakes affected over 66,000 families, just being hit over and over. Another strong earthquake struck the southern Philippines late Saturday, just a day after 2 major tremors hit Davao Oriental. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology said a 6.2 magnitude quake occurred at 14:32 GMT off of the coast of Caguate, Surigao del Sur, at a shallow depth of 10 kilometers. Tremors were also felt in Davao City and nearby areas, sparking concerns among residents still reeling from earlier quakes. Authorities said that they are assessing possible aftershocks and damage. Meanwhile, more than 66,000 families were affected by 2 powerful earthquakes and struck the southern Philippines hours apart on Friday, according to officials and local media. Davao Oriental Governor Nelson Dangareng said Saturday that around 100 houses were destroyed and 500 others were partially damaged. Now, the Davao Oriental government in the country's worst-hit region has declared a state of emergency. According to the Natural Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Councils, hundreds of people evacuated to safe areas after their homes were damaged. At least 8 people were reported killed. A second strong quake measuring 6.7 in magnitude struck off the southern Mindanao region just hours after a 7.4 magnitude tremor hit the same area, triggering a tsunami warning that was later lifted and prompting coastal evacuations. Authorities have yet to release a complete assessment of damage to infrastructure and agriculture. More than 800 aftershocks were recorded as of Saturday, while another 5.8 magnitude quake jolted waters off of Davao Oriental. Wow, 800 aftershocks. Now, I had read 60, but it looks like there have been 800. Now, I had heard that 20 of them were some serious major earthquakes. I want to say 20 of them that were over 5.0 or 6.0, if I remember correctly. So we've been seeing that going on. In addition to that, as I mentioned, we're going to take a look here in just a second at what's going on in the Kamchatka Peninsula and also Ethiopia. And also, as I shared with you, a 7.8 hitting the last 24 hours over at Drake's Passage. But first, let's take a look at the warnings coming out regarding the United States and what people on the west coast of the U.S. should be looking out for. Now you can see here the west coast's most dangerous faults could rupture together, affecting entire regions. And just recently, we've been seeing a lot of warnings coming out from scientists regarding this. They're saying the big one might not be one, it might be multiple simultaneously hitting, triggering one another to a massive earthquake that could unfold. Do you believe that there is going to be an earthquake here coming soon, a big one? If you think so, put yes in the comments. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. But it does seem like there has been quite a bit going on. Now you can see here the fault lines for the Cascadia subduction zone. They're saying this is a major one, and the San Andreas Fault, which runs along California. Now, this article says 2 of the West Coast's most dangerous fault lines might be more in sync than scientists have realized. A new study found that the 2 sleeping giants, the Cascadia subduction zone and the North San Andreas Fault, they have been moving in rhythm for millennia, shaking within hours of each other in a geological dance that can rattle the coastline from Oregon to California. So they're saying that these 2 work simultaneously. And like I said, a lot of warnings coming out about this right now, 2025. A team led by Oregon State University geologist Chris Goldfinger published its findings on September 29th in a scientific journal, Geosphere, demonstrating the first evidence that the 2 faults, they have interacted repeatedly over the course of thousands of years. The Cascadia subduction zone runs from Northern California through Oregon and Washington up to southern British Columbia. The famous San Andreas Fault runs along the California coast straight through San Francisco. By examining deep-sea sediment cores from the Cascadia megathrust, the deep undersea fault where the oceanic plates dives beneath North America, researchers found signs that major quakes on one fault may have helped trigger ruptures in the other. So they said, working hand in hand. This behavior has persisted through at least 10 earthquake cycles over the past 3,100 years, according to the study. The study identified matching pairs of sediment layers, also known as doublets, in canyons off of Northern California near the Mendocino Triple Junction, where the San Andreas, Cascadia, and Gorda faults converge. Each doublet represents underwater landslides caused by intense shaking, one from Cascadia, followed closely by another from the San Andreas Fault. Researchers wrote that this was evidence of partial synchronization between the 2 faults, a phenomenon in which stress released by one rupture triggers shaking on the other fault within minutes to hours. The team said that the pattern of sediment layers suggests both systems have repeatedly ruptured in close succession, likely starting with Cascadia. Northern San Andreas Fault events have triggered turbidity currents in the southernmost Cascadia subduction zone and vice versa, the study authors stated. They point out even very dismal faults can end up synchronizing. Goldfinger and his co-authors noted that the similarity in timing of the 2 systems might be important in maintaining that coupling, meaning that large earthquakes on one fault may alter conditions enough to influence the other. Now, the Cascadia subduction zone, which stretches from Northern California to British Columbia, is capable of producing magnitude 9 earthquakes like the one that struck in 1700. In April, separate research published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Science showed that a future Cascadia megathrust quake, where one tectonic plate slides under another, gets stuck against the subducting plate, and then abruptly slips, could instantly sink parts of the coastline by several feet and expand floodplains by more than 100 miles. Meanwhile, the northern San Andreas last unleashed major events in 1906 and 1989, devastating San Francisco. While the study doesn't predict when the next rupture will occur, the findings add new context on how scientists evaluate West Coast earthquake hazards. So there it is. The warnings coming out from scientists, with new publishings coming out just September 29th, saying that there is concerns of these faults working together simultaneously in sync, and one causing a disruption, then it would spark the other as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at where a lot of this started, and that was back in July with the Kamchatka Peninsula with an 8.8 magnitude earthquake, and we're hearing that today it is being reported that another one has hit there again. There has been a lot of activity in the Ring of Fire in the Pacific, so new earthquakes hitting just today. Magnitude 5.8 earthquake hits Russia, Kamchatka Peninsula, so the Ring of Fire has been lighting up. A magnitude 5.8 earthquake struck near the eastern coast of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula on Saturday today, according to the German Research Center of Geosciences. The tremor occurred at a depth of 10 kilometers. No immediate reports of damage or casualties have been released. Now, Kamchatka, located in Russia's Far East, is part of the seismically active Pacific Ring of Fire, where earthquakes and volcano eruptions are relatively common, but it seems like this is happening quite a bit as of late. Now, in addition to that, Ethiopia having a major earthquake as well. It just seems like in different parts of the earth, all over, we are seeing some pretty heavy quakes hitting, and it just seems like a lot of activity lately. October the 11th, today, 2025, earthquake of a magnitude 5.7 strikes Ethiopia. An earthquake of a magnitude 5.7 struck Ethiopia. According to the German Research Center of Geosciences, it occurred at a depth of 10 kilometers. An earthquake of a magnitude 5.7 occurred in Ethiopia on Saturday, today. This was reported by the German Research Center of Geosciences, UNN reports, with references to Reuters. According to the GFZ, the earthquake occurred at a depth of 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles. Now, also, as we just mentioned, the southern Philippines was shaken by a powerful earthquake of a magnitude 7.6 in the Mindanao region. A tsunami warning was initially issued, which was later lifted, and one death was reported. And as I shared with you just a couple of hours ago, another one, a 6.2 earthquake hitting the Philippines yet again. And that report said over 800 earthquakes have been hitting the Philippines. Just in the last 48 hours, they said there have been 20 that have been major quakes. The Philippines are trembling, and this comes as just yesterday I shared with you that 7.8 that hit the Drake's Passage down there by Southern America, right by Antarctica. And there were concerns of tsunamis. Take a look here, just a quick recap for you. Coming out yesterday, a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck in the Drake Passage on Friday, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The quake's epicenter lies in remote waters between South America and Antarctica. At this time, there are no confirmed reports of damage or casualties due to the quake's isolated location. Authorities are monitoring for possible tsunamis and aftershocks and will issue alerts as needed. The Drake's Passage tremor comes on the same day that a powerful 6.7 earthquake struck off the coast of the Philippines, triggering a tsunami warning and prompting evacuations across multiple provinces. The epicenter was located roughly 14 miles east-southeast of Santiago, Mindanao. The tremor is a part of a series of seismic events that have shaken the region in just recent days. So again, just in the past couple of days, a lot of activity. And you can see the epicenter of this particular quake hitting right there. The Drake's Passage is a body of water between the southern tip of South America and the northern Cape Horn, and the northernmost reaches of Antarctica's southern Shetland Islands. Spanning roughly 600 miles across, it connects the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean and is considered one of the most treacherous sea routes in the world. The passage is notorious for its powerful winds, strong currents, and towering waves, conditions created by the unimpeded flow of the Antarctic circumpolar currents. Named after the English explorer Sir Francis Drake, the passage has long been a vital route for explorers, scientists, and vessels traveling to Antarctica. Before the Panama Canal opened in 1914, it was the primary maritime path linking the world's major oceans. Today it remains a key region for oceanographic research and climate studies, offering valuable insights into global ocean circulation and the health of the planet's polar ecosystems. Drake's Passage earthquake, what to know? The Drake Passage experienced occasional to moderate to strong earthquakes due to its position along the complex boundaries between the Scotia Plate and the Antarctic Plate. Though sparsely populated and largely beneath the ocean, the region is seismically active, with quakes often ranging between magnitude 5 and 7. Major events are rare, but but not unprecedented. The shifting tectonic plates and deep ocean trenches make it an area of ongoing geological movement. Because of its remote location, earthquakes in the Drake Passage rarely cause damage or trigger tsunamis affecting nearby continents. However, it does seem like there has been a lot more activity than normal, and this one that hit just yesterday did cause those tsunami alerts. However, afterwards we heard that it was waved off, but a lot of activity taking place right now, and yet another one hitting today in the Philippines yet again. So a lot of activity. I see people saying that this is a warning from the Bible. If you believe that, put yes. If you think no, this is just natural, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button if you appreciate the updates. Now, as I mentioned, all of these articles that I'm referencing today, they're linked in the description. You can click the hyperlinks, go read them for yourself. I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it. So if you appreciate that, please take a second to hit that thumbs up. Helps out the channel a ton. Subscribe to stay up to date, and as more comes out, I'll be sure to keep you up to speed here on the channel. We have new updates coming out regarding the global conflicts taking place with Russia, NATO, the United States, also the Middle East. Social Security just had a big announcement as well, and we're going to be keeping an eye on everything that's going on around the world. Venezuela, the economy, tariffs. We're hearing there is a trade war going on with China and the United States. I'm going to keep you up to speed on everything here on the channel so you know exactly what is taking place. So stay tuned to the channel because there's more on the way. Pretty much doing live streams every single day. I'll keep you up to speed, and if you want to, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. But that is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.